Okay, so up next we have the first child speaker or the only child speaker. She'll be forever known as the child who made it. So she is here with her family, her sisters. Her name is Isabel, and I'm just going to read off the introduction. She's a 12-year-old grade 7 student who started teaching herself to code online when she was 10. You know, I forgot how small they look like. When I was 12 or 10, I felt so big already. Like, I felt like, you look around and it's like, I know the world. Parents, you don't know anything. You don't understand me. But man, now I look at them, wow, it's impressive. She has learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 languages. In her attempts to find a community of coders, she founded Girls Will Code as an after-school activity. She loves reading, tennis, math, and piano. She is part of serial entrepreneur group Sieh Sisters, they're called the Sieh Sisters, who won Best Booth in 2014 Kidopreneur Bazaar. Their latest venture is a cotton candy rental machine. Wow. Last month, she won a Star Wars costume competition where she incorporated an app on a cell phone on her R2-D2 costume. So she will be, her sisters, Mia and Stella, are also here, and they will help her present. I'd like to call on, let's all welcome Isabel C.
Hi everyone. Hi. Hi to my sisters and my mom. You must all be wondering why a 12-year-old is the first speaker at this event. I am too. Here are many things I could be doing right now. I could be taking jump shots with my sister at the beach, doing arts and crafts with my twin sister, or baking Instagram-themed cookies with my younger sister, making cotton candy, or playing tennis. But instead, I'm here with all of you because I want to build a community. I want to be part of yours and help me find other people who can join a community. Yes, I am 12 years old and I am Yes, I am 12 years old and I am in 7th grade. Other than coding, I enjoy playing tennis and playing the piano. I use the programs HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. I began coding when I was around 10, and since then, I have been trying to find a community for kids to learn to code. A community for kids to code is great. Coding for kids benefits them in so many subjects. For example, in math, if and else in coding could be like equals and not equals. And in art, designing websites and games could be like thinking of the shapes in drawings that you make. It is best to start early because it is almost like a language. When you start young, you are fluent. Also, kids can use their imagination and creativity to program personal projects to enhance their life. For example, an R2-D2 costume. I won the costume competition. Using my Star Wars R2-D2 app. Here it is. So this is the app. It's actually really simple. It was just buttons, and so when you press the buttons, they make different R2-D2 sounds. That was R2-D2 screaming. Yeah. Anyhow, here's my story on how I learned how to code as a kid. At first, I began teaching myself online with Code Academy. At the start, I was really learning fast. The teaching was straightforward, and I had many languages to choose from to learn. And whenever I had minor problems, it would be noticed by the computer and I could fix it. However, as I got deeper into programming, it was hard to keep up. I was getting confused, and whenever I looked onto the forums, I couldn't get any of the terms that they were using, even now, 2 years later. The only thing I could really get from the forums were the answers to the levels. And so when I finished the course, I was only really able to make something from a certain structure. I felt that sometimes I wasn't able to create my own websites. Self-teaching is great at the start, however, it is hard to understand, especially for kids. When my mom found out I was interested in coding, she wanted to help me and keep my enthusiasm, so she found me tutors, Gushi and Belai. They're not here right now, but I know they're supporting me. It is usually hard to find a programming tutor. However, thankfully, my mom knew Tito Dado. Also, it is great that Bella and I got along because sometimes tutors and their students don't, and that can really affect how the students learn. With my tutor, I got to have various learning, and I was able to understand what we were learning and apply it to my own personal projects without staying to a certain structure. Plus, when I had a problem, I could consult my tutors, and I can really understand how to fix bugs in my program. That's one of the coding sessions that we have. So there's me in the middle, and then beside me are my two tutors, and there are my sisters there. One program that I made is the encoder and decoder. It's like a Caesar cipher. So I made like a quick animation just to show the top part is the message that you put in, and then the bottom part's the decoded message. So I made an animation to show the shifts. So you can have different shifts, and then the bottom part moves to the right. As I taught myself more about Python, we added more to improve the encoder and decoder. First, we made a really long code. It was just using if and else, and it only had one shift, and it actually goes past that. That's how long it was. And then next, I made a shorter one using 2 variables, but it still had one shift. And then it's a bit longer, but that's because it now has all of the shifts. And I use modulo for the shifts. You can also use modulo for clocks. So if this was the message, and then this is the decoded message, if Z was all the way here, it would have to use modulo to go back to the start when the shift changes. Finally, we added GUI to the program by adding buttons and text boxes. This shows how I can apply my learning to my own personal projects. When I was in grade 6, we were learning Scratch, which was pretty basic for me, but it was a great way to get game ideas. We were learning as a class, which is a pretty big group, and I could count it as a community. I learned more than I would by myself because my classmates gave me suggestions on the design, and I was able to make a very nice looking project. One of the projects that I made in class was the first one. It was called Bake Cake. It was a baking game. Another game that I made on my own was called Dodge the Dot. This was a game based on Dodge the Dot game I saw online, and I wanted to reinvent it on Scratch. Scratch is a wonderful tool for kids because it is easy and intriguing to learn, yet you can relate it when you work on things like Python, HTML, and etc. During the time my mom and I were looking for a mentor, my mom had found Girls Who Code, a program to teach girls to code. I was really excited about this because I was finally able to be in a community that I was comfortable with. However, Girls Who Code was only in the US, and it was only for high school students, and I was in middle school. This inspired me to start Girls Will Code. Girls Will Code is a community of young girls who are interested, learning, or already learning in code, who can share ideas about personal projects, and also spreading the interest in programming for young girls that coding can be for anybody, not just a specific, not just boys or nerds. My big aim for Girls Will Code is to have it all over the Philippines as a common after-school or outside school activity. Girls will feel comfortable to code and won't feel as if it is only limited to boys. Girls Will Code will expand beyond urban schools and donate computers from money earned from donations from the paid after-school activities. The computers will be accompanied by tools and modules that help girls learn to code. This is a big idea that I am excited to accomplish. To start, we launch an after-school activity at a private school. We made an amazing video to market the idea. There's a GIF of part of how the video was like. We prepared materials using the easy step-by-step modules from the Girls Who Code curriculum, and even made the program free to persuade more students. But only one person signed up. I chose this image from Monsters University because it was a party that I thought it would be the best, but just like I said, nobody really showed up. When I found out that only one person signed up, I was quite shocked myself. Who wouldn't want to learn how to create personal projects that we use on a daily basis? I also found this surprising because it seemed like a huge hit in the USA. I came to a conclusion that other than the fact that it was my first time to make an after-school activity, the other reason why nobody signed up is probably because coding for kids, girls especially, is new to parents and students in the Philippines, and they do not know the benefits of coding. Parents just don't understand. Some of them even think that coding is the day of the week they can't use their cars. Therefore, my small aim is to make a club of at least 5 students. Right now, the people in my club are my 2 tutors who are teaching, my sisters who are practically forced to have my practice lessons, and myself. Also, I've begun teaching at outreaches at public schools, and it's been a really fun experience to see how much they can learn. I also want to find ambassadors for different schools so that they can teach on their own without me being there. A lot of you are probably thinking, what you're doing is really hard. Is it worth the effort? My answer is yes. I know this because I've started teaching my 10-year-old little sister, Stella. She was actually interested because she would see the apps I made and how much fun I had. After one lesson with teaching her how to make drawings on JavaScript, with my help, she was able to make that hot air balloon. And she was already asking when the next lesson is. Also, at my outreach, I was able to make 10 kids make a basic yet mind-blowing program on Scratch Junior. It was great to see how many ideas they had with their projects. In conclusion, I think this is going to be awesome, but it will require a lot of work, dedication, time, and finally, encouragement from everyone here. So thank you, everyone, especially my mom, so much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk about all of this. You are all helping me build a community. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow. It's loud. Well, Isabel, you inspire us. Your family inspires us. We are very much inspired. And you asked for encouragement. Let's encourage her, guys. Let's just give her one more round of applause. Yeah, what you're doing is a good thing. Keep it up. Don't stop. Okay. Questions, yes? Okay, we open it up for questions. Does anybody have questions for her? Everybody's scared of the kid. So maybe you can ask. Oh, yes, sir.
What was the question?
So the question was, how many girls will code are in the region already? That's the question? In Southeast Asia or? There's only one region for now, and this is Girls Will Code with her
Yeah.
5 and her sisters, and who are, as she said, forced. So she finds it very hard, but she's up for the challenge. That's what she said. And if you guys have any ideas, I think she's open, and you can approach her as well.
Yeah. That that'd be cool. Yeah. I'd want to
So
do
she
that.
was asked, Carol here is asking if she's willing to do a Pi Ladies remote session to talk to Pi Ladies via remote, maybe potentially mostly adults.
Still be cool.
Other question? Sir, speak loud.
How do I set code?
How did you end up with Python? Why Python?
Oh, okay. So, when I got my tutors, they suggested I started learning Python because it was widely used.
Good job, tutors. Another question?
I think I do. I think when I get older, I'll still be learning more languages.
She's keeping her options open. That's good. Last.
Oh, I have a website called girlswillcode.com, and then they can contact us, and we'll see how we can help.
Awesome. Go visit girlswillco.com and share it to your friends, guys. Thank you so much, Isabel.
Thank
Guys,
you.
let's give her a warm round of applause again.